All right, hello everyone. I'm glad you could join us for our second summer learning session. I just had a couple notes that I wanted to share with you before we begin talking about the information. Just some stuff I kind of talked about before. This time I finally put it in a slide so everybody could see it. So remember, these sessions are recorded. They're available to you after this session's over. I will place a link on the event page. I'm still working on trying to figure out the best place to put some other information, but if at any time that you know somebody that would like to see this, I can always email them that link as well. You can enter any questions you have, right? Just kind of when you look at your screen, you open that, you push the play button, and it opens up in the window. Kind of up here in this general area, there is another like a grid, kind of like you see the grid when you open Drive. Kind of looks just like this here. And if you click on that, and it'll open up the Q&A. So you can enter questions at any time as you want to, and I'll answer them as I go. If you are watching through YouTube, which is the better version for the mobile devices, you will not have access to the Q&A, but you can always email me, and I'll make sure I respond after the session, or you can post it on the Google Plus page, and everybody else will see that question and answer as well. Also remember, there is a slight delay to the video, so if you see something right away and you have a question about it, I may not answer it off because I actually don't get that, and it's just about a 10 to 15 second delay, just so you know that. At the end, I will share a link that will take you to a follow-up survey. You will need to fill out this survey if you want to receive PDC points. If you do not want the points, ask that you fill out that survey because it gives me feedback. And if you don't want to mess with it, I'm going to be submitting everything to the PDC. If that's that for you, you can always write in the very last question. It's like question, comments, concerns, anything you have there. You can write in there, no PDC, and I make sure I won't submit your name for that. But I do appreciate any of the feedback that I can get, so I know where you're going. It's a real quick survey. It's about 5 questions, I believe. So it won't take you very long to do that. All right, so today's session is over Drive and organization. I keep things at about 30 minutes. I'm going to try my best to stay under that. It's amazing how much you can really nail down when you start talking about organization within Drive, that I can talk a full 30 minutes about that. All right, so first off, we are going to go ahead and go into the Drive so you can see what that looks like. Now, I've got a pretty crazy Drive, just so you know, so there's a lot of things going on. I've got a lot of folders. So the basic form of organization in Drive is just creating those folders. If you just have all your documents there, instead of having folders, you're going to see a list and list and list of more and more documents. Remember, when you look at your Drive, you have one or two views. You can have the list view, which is what this is, or if you click on this one here, it says grid view, and it's going to sort it out in a grid. Everybody just has a different look, so you just kind of have to find which works best for you. I find list view works better for me just so I can see more of the title and I get a little bit more information that I prefer to see. So to create a folder, all you have to do is either go to New and then Folder, and you can type in your information, or you can F and then create a folder. So right now, I'm just going to create a folder that I'm sure I deleted later. Go ahead and create. So it's really easy to create a folder from there. If you have a folder on an external or flash drive or on your H drive or something that you want to upload, you can upload that folder directly to Drive. Remember my last session I talked about, if you go over to the gear and settings, make sure you choose whether you not convert those files at this time. I'm just going to leave it checked for now. And then I just go to New, Folder Upload, and I created on my desktop. Oops. This is my personal computer, so it looks a little bit different. I'm going to click on it and I say OK. It's actually going to load that whole folder, and there were 4 items within that folder. So if I saw it's called Google Buttons, I'm going to click on it, and it's actually just images or anything special. So it's going to put that within that folder directly into my Drive. So that's my option. The folder is already made for me. Now, if you're going to do this in mass, you can convert or you can not convert. If you do a lot of folders, I really recommend you do not convert right away, just because it does sometimes there's some little quirky things. Just know if you're prepared to start reformatting those documents, or if you want to wait, because you can always convert them later. Make sure also, like if you're searching a file, you can add a whole folder. And so if I were searching for the USB 480, 480, and then hit my search options, search for files, and then I'm going to go down to folders. These are folders that are actually shared on our 480 district drive, so kind of keep that in mind. But if I wanted to, here's one. If you ever are looking for something or you see something that was shared with you, a whole folder, again, or file or folder, I just have to look for add to my drive. I'm going to go ahead and add this one right now. I'll come back to that one later. So first off, here's some tips for organization, because again, organization can get a little crazy. You can color your folder. So if I scroll down here, you can see I have a few colors. And I just kind of color sparingly because I want those to pop out at me. If you use the little down arrow next to my drive, you'll see those colors kind of come back here. Now these colors don't always show up in different programs that you use. It kind of just depends on the program. So if I'm sending an email and I'm going in and I'm looking for a folder, that color doesn't translate there. So there's just certain places you see that color and some places you don't. Just kind of keep that in mind. It's not everywhere. And if I color a folder, that's my color. It doesn't color it for everybody else. So I can have this folder be green, but I can share this folder with a John Smith, and it's going to be, he can make it purple or he can leave it gray. So you can kind of, those colors are not going to be the same across multiple drives. So for me, I left my district information one as red because I really wanted to stand out. And then I have other colors of things that I work on all the time, so I want them to be there. Other things are sorting. I sort alphabetically, so under A to Z, click by name. I want, if the arrow is going up, it's A, or actually 0 to Z. And if I switch that, it's going to be Z to 0. So you'll see I actually use Z and 0 in my names, so I can force that sorting to be exactly how I want it. Now I was going through stuff the other day and I see I made all these folders. And I was like, I'm losing some of my folders. So I say, hey, I want to push this one up. I just right click it and I go to rename, and then right in front of it, all I'm going to do is put a 0. And then I just say okay, and you see it bounces right up there to the top. So you kind of have those options as well. I think it went above it because I put a space there just so you know there's kind of little perks there. But that way it pushes it to the top of my list. Things that I really don't want to see, I put a Z in front of it so it pushes it down to my list. So just kind of keep that in mind. There are other sorting methods. I just found alphabetically is the easiest. You can also star items, which was another item I talked about last time. Remember, I star sparingly on the things that I know I'm either working on right then or I look at it all the time. And I can unstar and star just at will. I don't do a whole lot. So if I go to my starred section, you'll see I have some starred items here. One of my starred items is my 480 LHS folder, so I place it there. I have some other items that I placed in star. And you can star items that actually aren't added to your drive. We did talk about before that if you were, say, whoops, wrong folder. If you were in the curriculum folder and you were down in social sciences and you went to 3rd grade and you were in unit 3 and you wanted that to be starred, you can click up here and say add star. And then you don't have to go hunt for that folder. It'll actually be located here under start. So there's my 3rd grade social studies unit 3. And then when I'm done with that, I just right click on it and I remove star. So there you go. This makes it a lot easier than having to go hunt for those files. Moving files and folders is really simple. There's multiple ways that you can do it. If I want to move something around, say I want to move this Avid folder, if I right click on it, and then I can say move to, or if I come up here, you do have to select on it, go to the 3 vertical dots, and then move to there. From there I can move, and if I wanted it to go inside of another folder, maybe I want this one to be in my, and I'm obviously not going to put it here, but I'm going to go, so this allows me to kind of go through multiple folders. If I'm just moving it moving it from my main level of drive into another folder, that's really quick and easy. I just click it and I drag it. And so if I want to move it, then I just drop, and all I do is let go of it. So that's real quick. I can also move over here onto the side. If I go this way, you'll see that these will hover over anything that has a down arrow next to it, and it kind of varies and it comes open that way. So you can do it that way. That gets a little bit harder for me to manage. It starts to get a little crazy, so that's not one of my favorite ways to do it, but you can move it that way. All right, and then another tip. So if you have all these things and you are now have this crazy drive and you now want to organize it all, let's do things in multiples. Just to select multiples, if you haven't learned this trick, if I select on one, hold shift, and select on the last one, it's going to get everything in between my first and last click. So that way I just have to click and drag, or I can do the move to, and you'll see how it has a little 5 next to it. It's actually going to move all 5 of those files. If they're not in order, which is typically how it happens, I'm going to click on the first one, hold Control, and then I can jump around and say, oh, I want this one, and I want that one. Whoops, it's zooming out on me. Put that back. And again, I'll click and drag, and now I've got 4, and it'll move all 4 of them. All right. So just keep that in mind that you can move multiple files or folders at a time. So when you're first doing this initial cleanup, that might help you out. All right. So when you start moving things around, I'm going to do a test. Just one of the things that I've kept in mind is my district information. So I put all of my district files and folders that are shared from the district. They're not mine, but they're shared from the district. I put them all into one location, and I put a 0 in front of that folder and made it red, because that way I know when I need to make a travel request, or I can put in my PDC report or anything like that, or go through my curriculum. It's all in the same location. So again, I'm just going to demonstrate how you do that. And even here, if I wanted to go back and search a couple of those files and get my advanced search for the 480, then I want to add the staff travel in the district directory. So I'm going to click the first one, hold Shift, click the last one, and I'm going to hit the little Move To button. And I'm going to go to My Drive, and then I'm going to place it right there in my district information. So I just bump them right in there. I didn't even place them into my drive first. I had 2. One was located in one place and one wasn't. So I'm going to move them. And then they'll both be located within my district folders. Oops, I can get back over there. So from the district information here, you'll see that those items have now been added in there. So that's the quickest way organization for me to maintain my district information. Some other people tips that they've had is they actually have 2 folders on the main level of their drive, and one is district and one is personal. So they actually click in that first button or first folder, and that's all their information for them. So you find what works best for you. This method works best for me. You can classify it into months, or you can put it into years, whatever you want to do. It just kind of gives you some options there. So now one of my favorite tricks that I really like to use a lot is live copy. We always hear about making a copy of a file. Well, as soon as you make a copy of a file, it becomes a separate file. So if any updates happen to the original, you don't see them on the copy. So I do what's called a live copy, and it's actually the same file, but it's in 2 locations or more. You can put it in multiple locations. So I'm going to jump down here, and let's see, I have a document open, and I want this, but I need to move this file, but I want to leave it on my main level of drive because I need to organize and need to have it later. So to do a live copy, it's Shift V, and then it opens it up. Now, this looks exactly like the Move To menu that pops up. So what you need to make sure you're looking for is the Add Here, because the other one says Move Here or Move To. This one says Add Here. And then again, I'm just going to navigate and say, hey, I need this to go to my innovation challenges. I want it to be located in my ideas, and I'm going to say Add. So now it's also, that's a shared folder, so you're just going to see some shared items there. It's actually going to be in 2 locations. I didn't move it from my drive. I added it to somewhere else, and both are the same version. So I can work on either one, and both are going to update. That has been the most handy feature for me. Now, how do I know where it is, or when do I know something's in multiple locations? The next thing I always use in my drive is actually my view details. So up here at the eye, if I click on it, you'll see 2 items. It says details and activity, and I'm going to click on details because this gives me the information of what I need. It gives you a little snapshot, but as I scroll down, it says location. It's located in my drive, and it's located in my ideas for 16-17. I decided I don't need it in my drive anymore, so I'm going to let it just go to one location. To remove it from a place, I just click on the little X, and you'll see it jumped off of my drive, but it is in my other folder in there. So you really want to pay attention to the activity and the details page, and that kind of helps you with some of your organization if you want to locate a file or see where it's at, and also see if it's in 2 locations. So I use that a lot. I also use the activity to track changes. I'm going to click up here, mostly because I don't want a file to be selected. And you'll see details. There's nothing there because it says select a file or folder to see the details about it. But if I go to activity, this is going to tell me the activity that's taking place in my drive. What I've done and just different things I've done. I've moved things around. I've created a couple files. Maybe I didn't realize I'd moved something and I have to go find it again. I can use a click on it right here and it's taking me right to it. So that activity is really, really handy. I also like it, so if I am sharing a folder with somebody, I'm probably the most active person on this one, I can actually see what activity is taking place in this folder. So if somebody accidentally deletes a file, you'll actually see it right here. It'll say moved or removed if it was deleted, and I can like track it down, go back and find the history, and if I'm the owner, I can pull that back up. If you're not the owner, at least you know who to go talk to about, hey, can we put that file back on because they can recover it from their trash. We talked about that last time. So watch your activity and your details. That really comes in handy just with your organization because there's a lot going on, especially in those shared folders. So if you watch the activity, you know where things are. I was going to click on, okay, here's my innovation challenges. This one happens a lot, and you can see I work with my partner on this, Dr. Duncan, and she does things and she moves things around, but I can track that, and this is kind of a new folder, so it doesn't have a lot of information before then, but I can go there. I can even go in a little further, and I can get some more information. And you'll see that it just keeps going, and there's a lot of history there as I keep going down. So I really watch that activity a lot, particularly on shared files if something happened, or if I accidentally deleted something or somebody else deleted something. So watch your activities and your notifications. All right, so another thing that comes in handy that if you are to find or organize your files later, I have a Word doc or a document up here. Say I've opened up a doc, I created it, I'm working on it, and I don't remember where I saved it. And even in your activity, you recently worked on it, but you can't find it later, I'll actually open that document up. So if I came back here, actually, and I'm going to scroll down to my history just a little bit, and let's see. I've been working on a lot of things. So maybe I didn't remember where I saved this. So if I click on this here, it's actually going to open that Word document up. And from there, you can see here's my sessions and my resources, information that I need. If I wait just a little bit for this to load, you'll see this gray folder that comes up. If I click on the gray folder, it tells me where it's located. Maybe I didn't want it there, and I actually can click on this and it's going to open up that more information in the folder system of my drive. Maybe I don't want it there. I can actually move this item. So I click on move, my drive, and I go forward and I can create a folder here. I can put it in another location. I can do that right now because I'll mess up my trainings when I need to find it later. But know that you can actually be inside of a file, a Google Sheet, slide, or doc, and move its location, find its location and move it, which I've done if I've kind of basically something that got buried in a folder. I find it, put it back on my drive, and then I kind of resituate where it needs to be. So it kind of happened before, but that's also just another way you know that you can move files around. I'm going to close out of that. That isn't this yet. So the next thing, with all this organization and all these things that you're going to do, you're going to lose something. At some point, you're probably going to lose a file. I talked about searching in my last session, but searching is still really important, and you want to make sure you understand how to do the searching, because if you kind of start thinking back to what's in that document, you can usually find a file again fairly easily. So if I'm going to do search drive, just know that if I click the down arrow, I get more options. Now, I'm not checking the box up here to search USD480.net at this time. If I search that, that's the district files, not mine. I'm searching my own drive. So all I have to do is type something up in here. And actually, I'm going to say, we had an elf this year, and his name was Buddy. So I'm going to click on that. I could hit enter now, and you see a lot of files come up, and more keep loading, and I've got a lot that are there. Well, that doesn't get me where I need it to go. So I'm actually going to hit my advanced options. I know that I want to find a text document like that. and it has the words buddy, owner. It was owned by me. I know I created this document. I know it was a Google Doc. I don't remember exactly where it is, so I'm not going to worry about that, but if I knew I'd started or trashed, you could look there. And then I'm just going to say search. Now this is going to narrow down my options. So now you see that this really brought it in, so I don't have near as many things to look at. I'm like, ha, there is exactly the file that I needed. So I look for my file there. Again, I can go to details, and I can also find out where it was. I was located in day 9. It jumps me to day 9 when I click on it over there, and that actually tells me day 9 was located in the 12 days of innovation, which is under challenge card. And you see how far and buried down that was. So it was a good thing I can have an idea or knew where I was going to search, and from there I can backpedal to find out where I need to go. So searching does come in handy. Another piece that I wanted to share with people, because this is something that's come up numerous times, like, hey, this is a good thing to share, is how do I go out and search a website and maybe I find a picture or an article or website that I want to save. Well, remember our H drives are filling up, we're having problems with our profiles, so how do I save directly to Drive? This has been a super handy extension for me. Now, extensions are added to Chrome, so you need to be in Chrome in order to get this. So to find it, all you have to do is go to the Chrome Web Store. And that loads up. It's not in the apps, I wasn't sure if it was, but I usually type in Chrome Web Store, hit enter, open that up. I use extensions and apps all the time. Extensions add to Chrome and extend its capabilities. Apps are like additional programs or websites that you can use. So here, to Drive, you get Google Drive in there, but I'm just going to save to Drive. You want then extensions. So the first ones are apps, the bottom ones are extensions. I've already added it. So here, where you see like the blue add to Chrome, that's what you want. So I've already added it. This comes in really, really handy when you're searching for a different article information online. If you can actually open something as a PDF on a website, you can save it directly to your Drive. So I'm going to come over to a Google search. If I were searching for information or a picture of a dog, I'm going to go into images, and obviously you're searching up a lot of things. I click on the image, and then all I have to do is say right click. And from here, you'll see save to Google Drive. I can save the image or I can save the link. I want to save the image. I just go over and click on save image, and this is going to place it directly into my Drive. This one was called Untitled Image. It's all, they title them a little bit different. I can always rename it. Dog delete. I want to delete it later. And close. I'll come back to my Drive. I saved it on my main level. So if I scroll down, there's dog, delete. So that's really, really handy. So again, with something with PDF, oh, and I can't remember. Come on. Oops, there we go. Just wanted to find something that would possibly be a PDF version. Give me what I want. I want something to open up as a PDF. So I see this one says PDF here. So if I click on that, it'll open up as a PDF. And you usually find this when you go to a website, just to show you can do the same thing. All right, basic obedience for the dog. So if I right click it, and sometimes if you hover, it depends on the site, and this one is not going to let me save to Google Drive. Which, like I said, it depends on how the program is set up and things that we've done there. So I would have to download this one. So kind of keep in mind, but if you right click it, you should be able to see that option there. I'm not seeing it on this one. So I'm actually going to back up, and I want to go to a website. Just want to pull a website up. So here's maybe a website, you found it, you're working real hard. You can either bookmark it or you can save the website to your site. So I'm going to right click. Oh, it's not going to give it to me this time. I use it for images probably more than anything. So there, maybe I found multiple links that I wanted to research later. If I right-click the link, I'm going to say Save Link to Google Drive. It's going to open this up like as a HTML file. So I don't do that so much because I do more of, if it's particular like website, web page with information I want to keep on it, I do that. But I usually save that as a bookmark if I were going to do anything else. But that Save to Drive from the Chrome store is super, super handy. So this is what it looks like. It's called Save to Drive. So make sure you download that extension. All right, so I actually finished up a little bit earlier in my time. I do not see any questions, so I'm hoping you guys are okay. I'm going to jump over to my follow-up. So just make sure you do take that follow-up survey, even if you don't want the PDC credit. I'm also taking note of numbers and how many people are watching, how many people are watching the YouTube video. And if this is well received, this is something we can actually do in the future. So I still need that feedback. I need to know how I make the sessions better, what I can do to improve things. Know that you could always email me if you have any questions. The next session will be Tuesday, July 19th at 8 p.m. So make sure that you join that, or you can shoot me an email. Actually, you can get back into the forum if you've done anything there. You can always change your settings if you want to go into certain sessions. And I'm watching that in order to send information out to you about the session. Anyone can join, so just make sure that if you've learned something good and you want to continue learning a little bit more, share that information with others. So please use the follow-up survey information so that you can to give me some feedback about how you feel about the session, as well as getting your PDC points. This is case sensitive, so make sure you put the capital M and the capital K in that link there. I'll stay on for a couple more minutes, like I said, since there's a little bit of lag, just to make sure that no more questions come across. But I do appreciate everybody for being here today. We've got a little bit under time. Just keep in mind, next week, Tuesday at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk about Drive and sharing. And do share settings both in the Drive as well as in Documents. So thank you guys so much, and have a great evening and the rest of your weekend. Ms. Vargas came on and she did ask, she said, did you say that we could watch these lessons again somewhere on the way? Yes, you can. I do post them back to the event page, as well as just post them back to Google+. In YouTube, if you go find me on YouTube, you can actually follow my channel and they go on there later. So you can watch these over and over again. I know that some of you are just learning your way through. Pause and play and pause and play till you figure it out. Have, you know, kind of two screens going if that's what you need to do, or sit next to somebody and learn these. So yes, these are available to view again. I place it on the event page, so you can link it there. It's located on YouTube. You can send it there. You can shoot me an email later, and I'll make sure you get the link, and I will post it back to Google+, so it's available on there. So yes, it is available. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Thank you guys so much for watching again. Let me know if you have any more questions. You can shoot me an email. I'll be around for probably the next 30 minutes. I will respond as promptly as possible. Thank you. You guys have a great weekend.